Good morning, world. Cece here. Today I want to talk about something that I think most of us have experienced at one point or another. The fact that the right decision can still be painful. We spend a lot of time in trying to avoid pain. And honestly, who can blame us? If something hurts, our natural instinct is to think maybe we're doing something wrong, or it was a bad decision. Maybe you've made the wrong choice. Maybe you should turn around and go back. But what if that's not always true? Think about some of the biggest decisions people make. Leaving a job or moving to a new city, starting over after a divorce or just a breakup, ending a friendship, setting a boundary with someone you care about, walking away from a business, saying no when you spent your whole life saying yes. None of those things are easy. And yet, sometimes they're exactly what needs to happen. Have you ever noticed that some of the decisions that bring us the most peace are also the ones that hurt us the most? That's a strange thing when you really think about it. Because we tend to believe that if something hurts, again, it must be wrong. But sometimes it hurts because we care, or it hurts because we invested years, or maybe because we had hope. And sometimes it hurts because we can clearly see what could have been, or so we think. And maybe that's the lesson. Pain doesn't always mean stop. Sometimes pain simply means this mattered. One of the biggest things I've learned over the last few years is that two things can be true at the same time. You can know a decision is right and still wish it hadn't become necessary. I think that's where a lot of us get stuck. I used to think that if I'm sad, disappointed, or frustrated, or grieving something, then maybe I just made the wrong choice. But those feelings don't automatically mean the decision was wrong. Sometimes they simply mean that you're human and we have to just sit with it for a minute. And that's been on my mind lately because I recently had to make one of those very hard decisions. Now, before your mind starts trying to figure out who or what that was, that's not really the point. The point is that sometimes life puts us in situations where there isn't a perfect choice. There's just a choice. And sometimes the hardest decisions aren't painful because you don't know what to do. Sometimes they're painful because you do know what to do. You wish it wasn't necessary. That's probably the best way I can explain it. For me, I don't regret the decision. I don't spend my time wishing I had done something different. If anything, I probably gave it more chances than I should have. What hurts isn't the decision. What hurts is that it came to that point at all. I kept hoping things would change or that they would work themselves out, and really hoping I wouldn't have to be the one to make the choice. Maybe you've been there too. Maybe it was a relationship or with a job, possibly a friendship or a family member. Maybe with a dream that no longer fits your life. Whatever it is, eventually there comes a moment when reality asks you a question. Are you going to keep sacrificing your peace to avoid a difficult decision? Or are you finally going to choose yourself? And that's where it gets tricky, because somewhere along the way we've been taught that choosing ourselves is selfish. And in some cases that could very well be the truth. But I don't believe that anymore. I think there's a decision or a difference between being selfish and protecting your peace, or between giving people grace and allowing yourself to be drained. I think there's a difference between loving someone or something and abandoning yourself. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is accept reality for what it is, instead of continuing to fight it. That doesn't mean you stop caring or stop loving. nor does it mean you stop wishing things had turned out differently. It simply means you've accepted that wishing isn't the same thing as changing reality. And maybe that's what acceptance really is. Not approval or pretending you're okay with everything. Just a willingness to say, this is what is. And from here, I get to decide what comes next. So if you're facing a difficult decision right now, maybe stop asking whether it hurts. Most meaningful decisions do. Instead, ask yourself, does this bring me closer to peace or farther away from it? Or does this move me toward the person I want to become? And when I look back a year from now, will I be glad I had the courage to do what needed to be done? For me, you bet. Because sometimes the right decision still hurts and makes you sad. But it hurts a whole lot less than betraying yourself in the long run. So until next time, take care of your mind, and the rest has a better chance of falling into place. This is Cece, and this is Cece Talks Life. Real talk, real life.